In this beginner step-by-step tutorial, you will learn the absolute basics in plasticity to go from this cube to this canister, which you can import into Blender within seconds. Alright, so let's start. And guys, if you're completely new and you just want to check out what plasticity is, go to plasticity.xyz and download the free trial version so you can exactly follow along. So you're not just watching it, but get a real feeling and understanding how amazing and easy to use the software is. Alright, so then you will be greeted here with this cube, and let's directly start without talking so much. So you will just learn by doing it. This is, I think, the best approach. Link in the description. We will use here this little canister as a reference. Download that picture and crop it. And let's go back to plasticity, and I will bring up here PureRef. Also, if you just don't know about it, so let's quickly just set it up by, if you go to pureref.com, you go here to download, Windows or Mac. Down here it's saying, yeah, you have to pay $15, but don't worry, you just go here to custom amount and you just type in 0, and then you can download it here for free. And again, just install it, double click, then it will open here and you can just drag in that image, and let's directly start. And we will select the cube and just press X and delete it. And now let's create the very main shape here and then go into the details. So you have here at the top right, this cube. Oh, and by the way, if you're completely first time here, you can go here to preference here, drop down preference. And here in the navigation, you have here different navigation. So if you're coming from Blender, then you can just select this Blender one, and then the navigation with the middle mouse click and everything will be the same. Or you come from a different software, so you can check it out what you feel comfortable with. So just pick one, any that you like, and just stick with it like for 1 week or so. You will get accustomed to that. If you find it confusing, then you can just try another one. So yeah. Okay, so let's directly, again, bring back here our image and go here to the front view. So just click front view. Yeah, so first of all here, we want to create a line because we want to create this very main shape here. So create a line. So this is like a 3D view, so we just have to guess it a little bit. But again, this is a very here simple tutorial, so it's not that important. But just create here a shape which looks something like that from the side, right? Because now you have this curve, and if you press 1 and 2 and 3, you can switch between those different modes. So if you're here and press 2 and you're in the edge mode, you can select now this curve here. If you press 1, then you are in points mode, and then you can here drag to those points and press G. So G is always the move command. So if you select something and you want to bring it to a different place, so you can also just drag that. Or you select both of them and press G, and then you can adjust everything. So let's adjust everything a little bit. But I think that's good. And now let's create directly the body. So let's go here to this view. And now if you press 3, so this blue it's kind of a face, right? We don't have any geometry, but you can select it as a face. So select this face, and now directly you see, bam, you can extrude that. So let's extrude that in both direction. And here, when you extrude it, you always have here at the bottom more options. And yes, if you're a beginner, it might be a little bit much for you in the beginning. So don't break your head about it, but just that you know. But here also we have tab, and we can lock distances. So if you press tab, then bam, tab. If you press tab, you see we lock kind of the distance, and it's from both sides the same distance. So this is what we want. Perfect. And now we don't need this curve anymore. So press 2 and select this curve and press X. X is always delete. Now we have this body, and now again, let's just start with the very main shape and just create the very rough forms, and then go into the smaller pieces. So let's create, just cut out here a hole. So we will go here to the front view, and we will create a line again, and we will just draw like a shape with the curve which we want to cut out. And so just draw here. It's a little bit hard to see, but this is not a problem. So just draw here something like that, right click, and you see we have this curve in the middle. And maybe this is a little bit too long for me, so go to the face mode, and I just want to adjust here this last face. So you can just select this face and just, you see, just bring this in a little bit. So yeah, because I just wanted to make it a little bit thinner. Perfect. So now let's select this curve and press G and bring it again. G is the move command, and just bring it to the front, because now if you go again to the front view, you see we just see it now a little bit better. And now let's give it here a chamfer, and just also here at the background. So if we want to give a corner a chamfer, we can press 1, and we will just select both of those points. And now here we have, the fillet edge curve of vertex. So it's on B, so you can just either click this icon or just press B. And if you drag it one side, you get the fillet, and the other side you get the chamfer. So very simple. And just press OK. Perfect. And now once we have this curve, we can use the curve to cut into our body. So while our curve is selected, we have an interesting command here, cut solid with the curve. So this is here our solid body, right? Because we extruded that, and we want to cut this body here with the curve. So select the body and then select the curve, or just select the curve, or just select the body, press C for the cut command, and then the curve, and then right click to confirm. And then you see already we have an extra body here. So now if you press 4 or tab, you can select this piece and press X again just to delete it, and the curve as well, just delete it, because we cut it that already. We don't really need it anymore. Perfect. So now we can continue here with the cylindrical shape. And again, this is an absolute beginner tutorial, so I will just keep it very simple. We have here some circle commands. So if you just drag it, click and drag, you'll find here some different circles. But we just need now a center circle. And let's snap somewhere here at the center of this face. So let's just drag that and drag that out here on the x-axis. So you're just following it. Perfect. And somewhere here, maybe I want to make it a little bit smaller, so I can press S. And if I press S again, then I will scale it uniformly, and I can just make it a little bit smaller, so you can adjust it. And I just want to bring it a little bit more here to the end. So press G and just bring this on here a little bit back. And now again, if you remember, we have a light blue face, so we can select this face here. And again, just extrude this, and we can create here this very simple shape. And right click or press OK. Press 2 for curve or edge mode. So with edge mode, you can select curves and just delete this edge or curve here. Perfect. So now just in this example, I want again press 3 and select this face here. And by the way, I don't want to see all the time this grid here. So you can just click here on toggle overlays, and then you don't see the grid. So I don't know, I just like to work this way. And so this face is selected. Let's extrude this a little bit. And let's give here, and again in edge mode, I want to give here just a chamfer. So edge mode, I will select this edge, shift this edge, and again we have here this yellow symbol, which we can then drag either in the chamfer or the fillet direction. And I just want to do something like that. And here at the top, I just want a little bit of a variation. So again, I will just select this edge and shift click this edge, but here I just want to give a little bit of fillet. Just to make it a little bit more interesting, why not? Perfect. So now what I want to do is, I want to combine them into one object, because right now you see we just have one object and a second object. So go to here to press 4 and selection mode body, so object mode, and just select both of them with shift. And if we press Q, so Q is the command for Boolean, so press Q, and you see one is red, one is blue, but we want both the same color, so we want to union them. So press Q again, and then they are both blue, and they will be just added to one body for now. Because now we can again go to edge mode and select this edge, and just drag that out a little bit and just give it here for now a chamfer. And by the way, if you press shift, then you just have a little bit more control over the chamfer and that kind of stuff. So something like that. And let's right click and let's do the same here at the top as well. And yeah, guys, I know it's not exactly the same, but this is for absolute hardcore super beginners. So yeah, and we want to finish that before Christmas. Perfect. So for now, this is really fine for me here at the end. Let's give it here some fillets and just bevel those edges and just make everything a little bit smooth, because you see it just doesn't look smooth. So press 2 edge mode and select this edge, shift, 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 and shift. And we can again drag it, and you see we have here some nice fillets. So you can press here right click and show edges. So you can toggle, and then you can just see a little bit better how it looks. And so again, right click here and then again show edges. And again, let's select this edge, and you see you don't have to select every edge, because if they are smoothly connected with those fillets like they are right now, you just can select one edge. And if you fillet that, it will just go completely around, and that looks beautiful. Perfect. So let's do the same here at those edges. And you see also we see a little bit through. So like the X-ray is enabled, and it's a little bit confusing sometimes. So you can just press here, toggle X-ray mode or Control Z. So you can press, I think it's on Windows, Alt Z, or just click here this icon, because then you see you don't see it through anymore. Yeah, so again, let's select those edges here. And those ones as well. I want everything very smooth. And just again, give it a nice little fillet. And now you see this whole edge, so this whole loop here around, it's always connected with smooth fillets. So we just have to select one edge. And if we give it here a fillet, you see it goes completely around. And this is pretty amazing. Perfect. So now let's do something very interesting. So I want to create here this little extrusion and with the gas font. So let's go to the front view and again create a curve. And it's a little bit different than, or it's completely different than with polygon modeling. But you mostly work with curves, and then you just draw a curve with the shape that you want. And then you use this curve to create the shape and yeah, basically create a line and go here to the front view. And let's just here create again this very simple shape here. So yeah, something like that. And just make sure that you go here to the closed one. Perfect. And you see it's again blue. And maybe again, let's just press 1 and select those points and just bring those points a little bit up, so we just have a little bit more place. Perfect. And you see we have now this curve. And first of all, let's give, because now it's just 90 degrees angle here, but I want a nice fillet. So let's just for now select all of those points and press B again. Here you have it, fillet curve or fillet vertex. So press B and let's give it everywhere just a nice little fillet to keep things simple. And now let me just bring this curve a little bit to the front. So I press G and just bring it here to the front so you see it better. So what we could do now, what we did here before, we could select the curve and press C for cut. Very simple command, you will always use it. And select then this body. And if you press OK or right click, you see you have then those pieces separate here, right? So yeah, you could do then your stuff what you want. But this time we want another command. We want this curve here on our object here, but we don't want to cut it into two objects. We just want this curve on this surface here. And sometimes when you have curved surface, then you need it obviously even more. But here we will select the curve, which we will use kind of as a sketch. And then if you press F, you bring up the Google of Plasticity. So you have here all of the commands. So with time, once you will watch more tutorials and stuff, you will learn more and more commands. But right now I just wanted to show it to you. So if you press F, you can Google here what you want. And this command it's called imprint. It's very, very often used. And I have it just on Shift 1, but don't care about that. So you have here an imprint command. And if you press imprint, you see here this box, imprint curve. And this curve is already selected. And here it shows us select the target body. So this is our target body and bam, it's directly here. And that's it. Press OK. And maybe you think, oh, it was the same what you did before. No, because you see, if we go here, press font object mode, we still have here just one object. But now, so press 2 and select the curve, press H to hide it, or we don't really need it, so just press X and delete it. And now you see we have this curve here on our surface. So that means if we press 3, face mode, we can select now just this face here. And if we select only this face here, we can also extrude just this face, again with this little thing here. And you see, it's still one body, because here it's still the one body, right? It's not a separate piece. And now you see we also have here a little bit of an angle. And while you extrude this, you have also here a white little circle. And if you play a little bit around with the circle, you see you can give it here a little bit of a degree to this extruded surface, right? So on flat surfaces, obviously that works always very simple. So press OK. And again, if you go to here to right click and show edges, bam, we have a really cool little detail here. So right click, show edges. And now let's create some text, because yeah, obviously you could import it into Blender and just create a simple texture. But again, I just want to show you a few more things. Go to the front view. And again, you can just use here, press F, and it's kind of the Google of Plasticity, as I told you. And now you just think, okay, I want to add text. So just type in text. And here you see it's text. So it's very often you want to do something, cut or add or Boolean. You can just type it and it will find oftentimes. But yeah, we want text. And I will just go here with enter, very simple, and just type in gas. Go with DM sense, so press OK. And now we have here this curve with the shape of the letters, right? So what we can do, because you see I want it a little bit longer, but we don't have a font which is long. So we can just select all of those curves. And by the way, if all curves are on one plane, so like they are here, you can just press Alt click with here edge mode, and then you select all of them at the same time. And now press S for scale and just scale them here on the X axis, and let's just make it a little bit longer, just why not? So press OK, and now obviously we want to bring it here and make it a little bit smaller, so press G for move. First of all, let's bring it here to the front so we just see it also a little bit better. Press OK, go to the front, and press G, and here bring it just somewhere here. And now again press S for scale and S again to scale that uniformly and just make it a little bit smaller. Press G again and just bring it perfect. So we have something like that. And before we will imprint that again, you see all of those curves, they are again very sharp, but we want nice fillets. because as I told you, when the curves are filleted, we can just give very simple fillets and bevels then later on our body. So while all of those letters are selected in edge mode, so select them all, press B for bevel, and just give it here everywhere a little bit of a nice rounding. Press OK, and again press F and search for imprint onto our body here, press OK, and select those curves, delete them, and go into face mode and select those 3 faces here, and just bring them a little bit in. Perfect. And now let's give it here a nice fillet, because then you will see it will just look a little bit more realistic. So press 2 and just select all of those fillets here, edges. You don't have to select everyone, but just the top and the bottom ones of every letter from both sides. And just give it here a nice little fillet. Press OK. And now if you right click here, show edges, bam, you see that looks like a stamp. Looks really, really cool. I really like that. And yeah, just to make everything smooth, also select those 2 edges with shift click and also give it here a nice little fillet. And you have something like that. Perfect. So let's continue, because yeah, it's already taking kind of half of an hour. I don't know, honestly, guys, if this is a good idea to explain everything so simple, but this is the idea for people who really are watching it for the first time. So let me know in the comments if you find that helpful. But let's just create here this thing where the liquid comes out. And for that, so there are basically 1 trillion million different ways. We could just create here a cylinder and yeah, create here kind of a cylinder and then do all the detailing and then rotate it. Or we cheat a little bit. We go to the front view and again, we take a curve. So you see curves, they are very powerful and we can use them for a lot of stuff. And if you just click here on the face and drag that out, yeah, to something like that, right? And we want to bring it in the middle because now it's snapped to the face. So press G. So you have here this pivot and just drag that here on the Y-axis and press Control click while you drag with your mouse. And then you can snap it here to those center points. You see, now it's in the middle. And now go to the front view again and press P, because we can give this line, this curve, a thickness through P, the pipe command. So here it is. And section size, this is the important one. And we can give it here a nice little thickness. Press OK. And select the curve here and again delete it. So we have something like that. Why we did this? Because now we can shape and form it as we want. And let me tell you, like, a very important command, which you will also always use. So we want to add just here some variation, right? And we could again create here a curve, and with this curve imprint it on here. So, and then you select this face. And yeah, but I know that was too fast for you, but there's a simpler way. There's a command. If you select 3 face mode and you select this face, and we just want to give it here everywhere just some extra edges, because then we can just modify our body. So for that, 3 face mode, select this face and search for isoparam. I know it's the most it's a little bit of a confusing name. It's like isoparametric. It's like mathematical. You don't have to know it. Just put this. Just remember it's isoparam, and this is basically called create a new edge. So select it, and then you see you have here a new edge. And if you press tab, you can change the direction of it. Bam. If you press tab, you see now it's what we want. So let's create here an edge. And now you see we have two different surfaces. It's still one and the same body, but just separated into different faces. So let's select this face again. And one tip, so we don't have always to press F and search for isoparam, you can right click it and add shortcut, I think, or it should be for you. And you can right click it and then just press Ctrl R, it is for me. And then just edit. Because now if you just select this face and press Ctrl R, you see it's just will be much faster. Again, press tab and let's just add one line. And why we did this? Because now we can select this face and just make that extrude this a little bit again. And let's select this edge and give it here a nice chamfer. And let's do the same here. So let's select this face. Let's make this a little bit smaller and add here just a little bit of a chamfer. I know, guys, it's absolutely not exact and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's already taking a lot of time. So press OK. Let's give here a hole. Very simple. Again, a new command. You can select this face and we just want the inner circle of that face, right? So we can press O and just offset that a little bit. So something like that. And we just offset this outer edge here. So if you press O, we can do like that. And now again, select this face and just drag that in. And press right click. Let's give it here some fillets. And this is fine. And yeah, now you can do a lot of, and yeah, for example, let's now combine those things. So again, press object mode and select this object and shift click this object. And again, press Q for Boolean and Q again to just add this into one body. Press OK. And now you can give here a fillet or something or add some cuts. Yeah, and maybe let me show you also just how we can create this X here. So if we go to the front view, again, we will just create the curve and we will go from here to here. And again, a new curve or line, Shift A, we go somewhere here. I will just adjust the points a little bit. And now to get the shape, so we could create here again a new line and again a new line. But there's a simpler way. We can select both of those lines and press O to offset them. And we just offset them. But you see, it's just going in one direction. So if you press Tab, if you remember from the beginning what we did when we extruded the face, it's the same for the curves. So if you press Tab, it's going in both directions. And now we have the shape, but we don't need those inner curves lines anymore. So you can select them and press X. So you just have here this outline, right? And now to create this perfect circle on the endings, we have here our center circle, but if we drag it, we find here a tangent circle. So without going into too deep what tangency is and all that kind of stuff, now you can just, you want to create here a curve between those two lines, right? So you just select one curve and go to the other curve, and now you can drag out the circle here, right? So again, you just click here on tangent circle, select this curve and just drag that a little bit around, and you will do it on the other sides as well. And now you see we have here a little bit of some curves. They are a little bit too long, so we don't need those little pieces here. So for that, we have a trim command. So this is super important. You can create so interesting shapes with lines and curves, but oftentimes they're interlapping and you have a little bit of extra curves which you don't want. So for that, you have a T for trim command. So if you just press T, you have a trim. And now you can just trim everything away that you don't need. So and you see everywhere where the curves are intersecting, it's giving us the option to just cut one piece of it away. So if you just press escape, you see it's still one long line, but because they are intersecting with the circle here, if we press T, we can just cut this little piece away here. So it's really cool. So let's cut everything away, and also here this inner circle. So this half of the circle. So just cut everything away. So everything is nice, clean and smooth. And here as well, right click, because now press 2 and alt click to select all of those curves again, because you see we have like 10 different curves or so. And if we press J for join, bam, we just have one curve now. And again, if you press G and just bring it here to the front so you see it a little bit better, you can again search for imprint or put it on your shortcut and select the body here, right click and delete the curve. And again, select this face with face mode and bring this a little bit inside. And let's give those sharp edges here a nice little fillet. So select them with edge mode. And the same for this one, but I want a nice rounding. So I will first select this inner edge and give it the nice juicy big fillet. Right click. And then I will just select one on the top and it will create a nice fillet on the top. So you see we have a really nice thing here. Before we export it, which will take us literally 1 minute, so you can use it in Blender or in other 3D software. And if you like plasticity so far and you want to learn more and how you can create obviously more interesting objects, you can go to my website and the first link in the description, and I have a course which will guide you through the whole process from start to finish, how you can create this Apple Watch. So this is a render I did from the course. So this is exactly the result that you will get. And before we will get to this Apple Watch, I will explain you, because it's a course, we will have much more time, all the settings, what they mean, how to set up. Then I will explain you the interface. So all of those buttons and what solids are meaning, what are curves and what all of those different buttons mean. And also the most important one, so you're not overwhelmed. Then what we did here in this tutorial, we will create here some very simple shapes just to warm up a little bit. And here also create this USB hub, which will take us really fast, half an hour or so. And once we have that, we will go to the Apple Watch Ultra modeling. Yeah, you will literally learn just in a few hours how you can create the whole Apple Watch from scratch as a completely beginner. Everything is step by step. And here you can check out also some results that some of my students got. So this course is completely for free. So while you are in the trial version of Plasticity, you can use this chance or not as you like. I also have on YouTube a lot of other beginner tutorials, but this course is just a completely step-by-step, streamlined, full process where you will literally learn everything you need for a good, solid understanding of plasticity. Yeah, so once you have everything here, it's very simple. You just go here to our menu and you export it. Bam. So you export it and you just call it canister 02 for me. And here, so if it's on Windows, it's looking a little bit different, obviously, for you. But at the bottom, you have format. So step file is, so you can use it in Plasticity and other CAD modeling program, but you want here OBJ. So if you work with Blender or something, you know OBJ already. So you can click here on OBJ, press save. And now you see already, now this body here is converting into polygons. So don't be confused. You have a lot of different options here. I think it will start for you with the tries here, but you can go to n-gons. This will be absolutely fine, especially for hard surface modeling. It's most of the time what you need. And you have here some more options, which I go through in my free plasticity course, first link in the description. But for now, if you just press OK and you open Blender and you go to File or Cinema 4D or something and you import your OBJ here. And then you have here your canisters. And if you import it, you have your canister, and if you rotate it, you have your little body here. And So you see, you also have the topology. It's exactly the same as it was shown in Plasticity. And yeah, we didn't mirror it over, so you just have it on one side. But yeah, it's a very beginner tutorial. That should be fine for you right now. And yeah, then you can do with it whatever you want. So I hope you liked it. Go first link in the description and get this free beginner course, few hours, and you learn literally everything about plasticity you need as a beginner. And otherwise, I see you in one of my next tutorials. Have a nice day. Bye.